Okay, so let's talk about the game because obviously a lot of people have had a lot of questions and a lot of things have been a little bit radio silent here for about a week or so, and for good reason. Give you a little peek behind the curtains here. Essentially, how's the game doing? Well, not great. You see, basically, Roblox, whenever you release a game on the platform, they give you a whole bunch of metrics that you can measure how well your game's doing. And depending on how well your game's doing in these metrics, that determines how well Roblox is going to promote your game in the algorithm. So, like, for example, some of the metrics are how long do people play per session? What's the average play time? Do people play your game continuously every day? Do they come back after a week and play your game? How much Robux does the average person spend on your game? That's an actual metric that Roblox measures your game by in the algorithm. And one of the most important metrics is this thing called QPTR, qualified playthrough rate. Basically, what it means is how many new players does Roblox recommend the game to? They see the thumbnail, they see the icon, they see the game, they click the game, and then they play the game for more than a few minutes. How many players do that? That's the QPTR. And that's one of the biggest important metrics on Roblox. It's like click through rate on YouTube. If people see your video on YouTube, you want people to click on it and watch it because otherwise Roblox isn't going to recommend it. And correct me if I'm wrong, developers, but the QPTR for our game, along with all the other metrics, was actually really, really good. All the metrics for our game, not tooting our, my own horn here because it's all the developers' work, but the metrics for the game were solid, like really, really good. We're talking like close to 99th percentile, like really good. And the QPTR was really good as well. It was up there in like the 90 plus percentile of Roblox games. Really solid. And then last week, it just dropped off a cliff. All the stats in the game are great, except for QPTR. It went down to like below 1%. It is at 0 point something something percent, which is bad. Like really bad. Like it went from all the way to the right of good to literally the very bottom of the bar. Like it can't go lower. It's basically at 0%. And we've talked to a bunch of developers about this, being like, hey, like what in the world's going on? Like, why did it drop off a cliff? And a lot of the developers we've talked to, a bunch of big developers in the space, a lot of them have no idea. They're like, I didn't even know it was possible to go this low. I've never seen a game do like have this stat go this low. I didn't even know it was possible. So we're breaking records, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, we're breaking records in the wrong direction, but we're breaking records here. And so we're trying to figure out, like, okay, well, what's going on? What's going on with the QPTR? And so usually when QPTR drops on a Roblox game, what you do is you'll change the thumbnail, you'll change the icon. Sometimes you'll even change the title of the game because basically it's based on if people are clicking on what they're seeing. So, maybe people aren't liking the icon. Maybe they're not liking the thumbnail. Maybe they don't like the title of the game, et cetera, et cetera. And so I think we've spent well in the thousands of dollars on different thumbnails, all kinds of different thumbnails, drawn thumbnails, rendered thumbnails, like you name a type of thumbnail, we've tried it. And the QPTR has not gone back up. It is continuously dropping. Even thumbnails that have done well for other games and that are doing well right now for other games on the platform are not doing well for our game. And so we're like, okay, well, this is bad because obviously the QPTR is one of the most important stats out there. And if it's low, then Roblox isn't going to recommend the game to new players, which is what's happening. It's not getting recommended to new players. And so we've talked to a bunch of developers as to like why this is. Why is the QPTR so dang low? And we've come to a few different theories that we're kind of testing here. So theory number one is this is Roblox's doing. Basically, if you guys don't know, Roblox introduced a new metric to the algorithm I think it's called the deep playthrough rate, the DPTR. And basically, what that metric measures is how long people play the game like every single day. You know, are they coming in and are they spending a good amount of time in the game every single day? And essentially, it's meant to be a counterbalance to brain rot games because obviously, over the past year, brain rot games have kind of taken over the platform. And this is kind of meant to be a counterbalance to it because for a lot of brain rot games, people don't really play it every day necessarily. They usually like play near the updates, log in during the admin abuses, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of the more complex games that people play every single day, like let's say a Deep Woken, they get pushed down the algorithm because of that. And that's what the stat is meant to do. It's meant to raise those games up and kind of balance out the brain rot games a little bit. And so our theory is Roblox is testing our game in like that new algorithm. And since that new algorithm isn't as friendly to brain rot games as it was 5 6 months ago, it's really hurting the stats of the game. That's the theory. Which also explains why a lot of brain rot games on Roblox are just kind of dying right now, just across the board. Number one, people are just searching for brain rot less, so like the trend's kind of dying. But beyond that as well, a lot of brain rot games on Roblox just aren't doing well. Like name a brain rot game, it's probably lost a lot of players in the past like month or so, right? And so that's like theory number one is that Roblox is testing out this new algorithm, and unfortunately, our game kind of got screwed over by it. Theory number two, and this is the more interesting one, is that my audience is killing the game. So I'm sure most people here know, maybe you don't, but like my audience on YouTube really does not like brain rot, right? Hates brain rot. And a lot of people think that my audience is like very small kids. Compared to like other Roblox YouTubers, it's not. I have a very, I don't want to say like older audience, but like it's definitely on the Roblox spectrum. It definitely skews older, mainly because I've been doing this for so long. So like if you started watching in 2020, that was 6 years ago. If you were 12 then, you're an adult now. So like a lot of those viewers have kind of grown up, and obviously older players don't really like brain rot as much, right? So the theory is that my audience, whenever I stream the game, talk about the game, etc., is playing the game. And then because they play the game, an audience that doesn't necessarily play brain rot games, it's just, they're playing it because of me. They want to support me. Roblox is recommending the game to non-brain rot players. And so if a game gets recommended to non-brain rot players, and it's a brain rot game, well, what's going to happen? Well, they're not going to play the game because non-brain rot players don't play brain rot games, right? And so if my audience is playing a lot of this game and they don't normally play brain rot games, and then Roblox recommends this brain rot game to non-brain rot players, then of course they're not going to click on the game. And the QPTR is going to go down, 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 down. That's the other theory. In which case, how do you solve that? Well, it's a good question that we're trying to kind of figure out here. Maybe me streaming the game is hurting it. Maybe my audience is the one hurting it inadvertently, unintentionally. We don't exactly know. We're trying to like figure out exactly what's going on here. Is it the algorithm change? Is it my audience that's hurting the game? Is it me being associated with it because KreekCraft's audience hates brain rot? Maybe it's a mix of all. Not sure. But basically, we're in a situation now where obviously, like, we can't continue paying a lot of the, like, we were spending probably over $1,000, maybe more than that actually, on like each new update, right? Just with like new brain rots, new artists, new animations, et cetera, et cetera. And obviously, the game's not like doing that anymore. So we can't continue to pay that anymore. So what we're trying to figure out now is how can we continue to support the game and bring new things to the game while obviously not like, because like, the game's got to make money, right? In order for us to spend the money. Um, you can't just keep throwing money into it if it's not making money. And so we have to figure out how much can we put into the game with kind of the trajectory the game's on right now. And also with the trajectory the game's on right now, how can we change that? Do I need to not stream the game? Is my audience hurting the game? Is it a Roblox algorithm thing? Is this going to get solved in a little bit? Is Brainrots just dying? We don't know. Um, so the plan right now is I'm going to occasionally do admin abuses. And then in the cases that I'm not doing admin abuses, I think what we're going to do is I'm going to have my girlfriend pop in and do the admin abuse on my behalf. That way, it's still KreekCrafty, but it's not my audience flooding the game and possibly hurting it. You know what I mean? Um, so that's kind of where we're at and what we're trying to figure out right now, which is why, like yesterday, I didn't stream the admin abuse. Um, and then of course last Wednesday was John Doe Day, so either way I couldn't have streamed it. Then I had things going on. But that's kind of where the game's at right now. So just so everyone knows and what's going on, obviously we're not abandoning the game. Um, this is our game. We want to continue to support it for as long as we can. Um, right now it's just a matter of figuring out how much can we put into this game with kind of how the game is doing on Roblox right now. Hopefully that makes sense. And if anyone has any ideas, maybe someone knows something that we don't, definitely let us know. But yeah, all the stats are great. It's just people aren't clicking on the game when they see it. New players, I should say, aren't clicking on the game when they see it on the front page, which is weird. Got to figure that out. But that's what's going on right now.